To download Windows 11 ISO file, open Internet browser and from your favorite search engine, search for Windows 11 ISO download. From the list, select the link from Microsoft Software download link. On the open page, scroll down to download Windows 11 disk image ISO. From the drop-down, select Windows 11 and click Download. Select your language and click Confirm. Lastly, click on 64-bit download to start the download. From the home page, click on Create a new virtual machine. On the Open Wizard, select Custom and hit Next. On the Compatibility page, open the drop-down menu and select VMware Workstation 17.x and click Next. This setting is only important if you want to copy or move your VM to another computer running other versions of VMware. Hardware compatibility identifies the minimum version of VMware Workstation that can be used to open this virtual machine. On the next page, select I will install the operating system later and click Next. Under Guest Operating System, select Microsoft Windows and from the drop-down, select Windows 11 x64, then click Next. Older versions of VMware do not have this option for Windows 11. On the next page, give your VM a name and select the location where the VM is installed. In my case, VM is installed in D drive and virtualization folder. Click Next. Next page is new and only available in VMware Workstation Pro version 17. If you do not see this page, you are not using the latest version of VMware. If you do not have the license or do not want to upgrade your VMware Workstation and still need to install Windows 11, click on the link on top of your screen to watch that video. In this page, you need to select which files would you like to encrypt. You can select only necessary files or all the VM files. Because VMware Workstation Pro version 17 includes a virtual TPM, it is needed to encrypt either all the files or some of the necessary files that are created with your virtual machine. TPM is a module that keeps confidential data such as biometric hash. Now that this module is virtualized, VMware needs to make sure it is safe and it stays safe by encrypting the files. Select a password for your encryption or use generate to create a random complex password. You don't need to memorize this password unless you want to relocate the VM to another host. If you relocate your VM to another computer, you will then be asked to enter the encryption password in order to be able to use the VM. On Firmware Type page, select UEFI and hit Next. On the next page, select the number of CPU and cores per CPU to assign to your virtual machine, then hit Next. On the next page, select how much memory would you like to assign to your VM. I select 4 GB as this is the minimum recommended amount by Microsoft. If you need, you can reduce it after the installation is finished. On the next page, select your VM's network connectivity. Select Use Host Only and click Next. By selecting Host Only, your VM will not have access to the internet. You can change the network settings after the installation is finished. If you select NAT or bridge networking, your VM would have access to internet during the setup and will force you to use a Microsoft account to log in and will not allow a local user creation. Although there are solutions to bypass that limitations, but it is faster and easier to block internet access during the setup and change the network settings later. If you need to learn how to create a Microsoft account, click on the link on top of your screen to watch that video. On the next page, VMware asks about the controller types for the hard drive. Select the recommended option and click Next. Next page, select the disk type and click Next. Depending on your computer's hardware, the options might be different. Select the recommended option and click Next. Select Create a new virtual disk and click Next. On the next page, select your virtual machine hard disk size. It is recommended to leave Allocate all disk space now checkmark unchecked. If you select this option, Windows will allocate the complete identified space immediately. By leaving it unchecked, Windows will create a virtual disk with a minimum size that will start to grow as you put data in that virtual hard disk. I will have more detailed videos about disks, virtual disks, and dynamically expanding disks in close future. Optionally, you can decide to keep the VM disk file as one single file or break it into smaller size files. Once you made your selection, click Next. On the next page, VMware displays the virtual disk file that is going to be created. It is usually located where the VM is created, but if you need, you can change and relocate that. It is best to leave it to its default values. Last page shows a summary of all the settings that you have decided so far. Review and click Finish. Your VM is now created. Select Edit Virtual Machine Setting, select CD/DVD, and then select Use ISO Image. Click Browse and search for Windows installation ISO file that you downloaded in previous steps. Then click OK. Now turn on your VM. In order to boot your VM from CD, make sure to click inside your VM, and once prompted, hit any key from your keyboard to boot from CD. Windows installation will start. On the first page, select your language, time and currency, and keyboard language. Then hit Next. On the next page, click on Install Now. Windows will start the setup. There are no more error messages at this point. Continue to the setup by accepting the license agreement and clicking Next. On the next page, select Custom Install, select the hard drive that you want to install the operating system, and click Next. Windows will start the installation process, and depending on your computer speed, it might take several minutes. Your computer will restart twice. After the second restart, select your country and click Yes. On the next page, select the keyboard layout that you would like to use and click Yes. Next page, select I don't have internet. On the next page, select Continue with limited setup. This is because we selected host-only network and did not allow our computer to have access to the internet. On the next page, type the username that is going to use this VM and click Next. Select the password, then click Next. For this demo, I will not set a password for my lab virtual machine. You can always add a password after the setup is complete. Review the privacy settings and click Next. All the settings in this page are optional, and if you like, you can turn all off. By clicking Next, Windows will finalize the installation. Depending on your computer speed, this might take a few minutes. Lastly, once your VM is loaded, install VMware Tools. This is similar to installing Windows drivers. To install it, from the VM menu, select Install VMware Tools. This will insert the VMware Tools CD in your virtual machine DVD drive. Open Computer Browser in your VM and browse to the CD drive. Double-click VMware Tools and start the installation. On the first page, select Complete and hit Next and Install. You will notice that the display size will change and VM will automatically resize the display to fit your window. After the installation, restart the VM. Congratulations! If you've been following along, you have successfully installed Windows 11 22H2 on VMware Workstation Pro. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like this. You can leave a comment in the comment section down below and let me know what other subjects would you like to see. Thank you for watching and see you on the next video.